So good evening. Once again, welcome back to Professor Academy's question paper analysis of UGC NET English, December 2021, Shift 1. And today we are going to analyze questions from 51 to 55. 51. Arrange the following periodicals in the chronological order in which they started publication. So we have 4 periodicals. We have capital A, the Spectator, B, the Tatler, C, the Rambler, D, the Critical Review. Then we have 4 options. Option A, B, C, D. So that is the order. Option B, A, D, B, C. Then option C, B, A, C, D. Then option D, B, C, D, A. Before we go for an option, so look at the options here. Option A and C almost look similar because both end with CD. In the sense, the Rambler and the Critical Review. And maybe there's a clue, right? And we also know when we think of periodicals, we always think of the Tatler and Spectator or Spectator and Tatler. So which one came first? So that is the only option we have now. A or C. In A, it says Spectator, Tatler. C, Tatler and Spectator. Then if you have the clue, then that is the answer. So answer C, the Tatler, Spectator, Rambler, and the Critical Review. Now let's look at each one of them one by one. So the Tatler, it was founded by Richard Steele and it ran from April 1709 to January 1711. And it was issued thrice in a week. And this was once asked in a NET exam. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So you should remember this. So it was issued thrice in a week. So it's a thrice weekly. Then Steele used a pseudonym for this periodical, Isaac Bickerstaff, Bickerstaff. Then those who contributed to this periodical include Jonathan Swift and Joseph Addison. So this is the first one. Next, the Spectator. It was founded by Steele with Addison. And it ran from March 1711 to December 1712, a short one. And it was issued daily except Sunday. And in this work, they created a club, Spectator Club. And one of the major characters in this work, in this club, is Sir Roger de Coverley. He was an English squire of Queen Anne's reign. And it was stopped for a period of time, after 1712. Then it was briefly revived by Addison in 1714. And it was at that time issued thrice weekly for 6 months. Then it was stopped completely. Then the next periodical, the Rambler, it was founded by Samuel Johnson. And it ran from 1750 to 1752, and it was issued on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So now we get questions from periodical. So you can have a note on which came first, who founded it, and the year it was, the years it was published, and the days or weeks it was issued, right? So this is how you can maybe make a list of the periodicals. And the last one, the Critical Review. It was started by the printer Archibald Hamilton, and it ran from 1756 to 1817. And its first editor, Tobias Smollett, a very famous novelist at that time, Tobias Smollett, Smolett. And contributors, we have Samuel Johnson, David Hume, philosopher. Then we have John Hunter and Oliver Goldsmith. So with this, we go to next question, 52. Match list 1 with list 2. List 1, we have essays. List 2, essayist. So on the one hand, we have A, the Tory fox hunter, against which we have 1, Francis Bacon. Then here, capital B, essay, what I believe, against which we have 2, Joseph Addison. Then we have capital C, the death of the moth, against which we have 3, E.M. Forster. Then capital D, of ambition, against which we have 4, Virginia Woolf. Now, what you have to do, even before you go to the options, you can eliminate certain options even before you're going through that. For instance, D, of ambition. Of course, anyone can tell that is by Francis Bacon. So D1. So you can eliminate option A and B. Why? Because D starts with 2, and the last option D, again here D starts with 3. So B, it is either B or C, because in both these options we have D, that means of ambition was by Francis Bacon. Now you have narrowed it to 2. So you have to go for maybe eliminate the Tory fox hunter, this Tory Whigs. That politics associated with might have Joseph Addison or E.M. Forster. Who? Maybe if that is a question you have. Or the death of the moth is actually a celebrated essay by whom? A modernist one. Then this is the answer, by the way. B. B is the answer in the sense A. The Tory fox hunter was by you have to Joseph Addison. Then we have what I believe, that was by E.M. Forster. Then C, the death of the moth, that was by Virginia Woolf. Then of ambition, Francis Bacon. So let's see, some of the other essays by these 4 essays. So we have Francis Bacon, who came up with this collection, the essays, subtitle, or counsels civil and moral. So when it was first published in 1597, it had only 10 essays. Then second edition came out in 1612 with 38 essays, and final one, third edition, 1625 with 58 essays. So next time we can also expect a question from this. So if there's a question from Francis Bacon, so they might ask how many editions, or in which edition, how many essays. Third edition, 58. Second edition, 38, and first one, 10 essays. And these are the essays you can focus on. These are the often prescribed essays, because Francis Bacon is known for his epigrammatic style, short and sweet. So these are the essays you can at least read: of truth, of studies, of revenge, of friendship, of adversity, of nobility, of ambition, of death, of travel, of gardens. Right? Then we go for the next one, Joseph Addison. So here are some of the famous essays published in the Spectator or Coverley papers. So you can read the Spectator's account of himself, or Sir Roger at home, then on ghosts and apparitions. Next essay, Sir Roger at church. Next essay, labor and exercise. Last one, on witchcraft, story of Moll White. Then we have E.M. Forster, a modern novelist. And the essay in the question, given in the question is from this essay collection, E.M. Forster's essay collection, 2 Cheers for Democracy. So this essay collection is divided into 2 parts, part 1, part 2. Part 1, The Second Darkness. That is the overall title, part 1. Part 2, What I Believe. So under part 1, there are a lot of essays. I have given only 3 here. Culture and Freedom. Another essay, The Challenge of Our Time. That is often prescribed. Then E.M. Forster has also written on George Orwell essay. Then part 2, we have What I Believe, and the title essay that that was asked in the question we just saw. What I Believe. Then the next essay, Art for Art's Sake. Then third one, Does Culture Matter? Right. So what you have to do, make sure when you read about a novelist, make sure whether he or she has written an essay collection or a poetry collection or plays. See, this question is a bit trick. We know E.M. Forster, but not his essays. So that's a tricky one. Similar way, Virginia Woolf. We know her as a novelist, a feminist, but these are some of her famous essays. Modern Fiction, The Modern Essay, Mr. Bennet and Mrs. Brown, Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights. Then next essay, The Russian Point of View. Next essay, I Am Christina Rossetti. That's a celebrated essay. Then Professions for Women. Okay. Then this is an essay collection, The Death of the Moth. You can take this as an exercise. Why don't you check out the contents of this essay collection, The Death of the Moth. The essays we just read, talked about, these are her famous essays, right? You can also check out these essays. Then let's go to question 53. Arrange the following texts in the chronological order of publication. We have 4. Capital A, this bridge called my back. B, sexual politics. C, gender trouble. D, the feminine mystique. Then we have 4 options, the order. So option A, B, D, A, C. Then option B, B, D, C, A. Option C, D, A, B, C. Then option D, D, B, A, C. So we have to, sometimes, of course, this is the toughest question. I mean, this is a tough question compared to other questions. This is for the first time, they are asking you, giving works is fine. But suddenly this kind of a work is tough. At least we should know which work came first, or at least we should be able to know the author of the work or the feminist. Here, all the works are by feminists. Which feminist or which feminist work came first? If you have at least that clue, you can come up with an option, or then it's a bit tough one. But anyway, answer is actually D. First, the feminine mystique, then B, sexual politics, then A, this bridge called my back, then the final one, gender trouble. So what we have to do next for the upcoming NET exams? So whenever we read about criticism, about critiques and their critical works, make sure at least, okay, this work came first, this work came last, this is more modern. At least you have some chronological understanding of these works. You can crack the questions. So first one, 1963, we got Betty Friedan, Friedan. She came out with this work in 1963, The Feminine Mystique. Then 1970, we have Kate Millett, Sexual Politics. Then 1981, it is a collection edited by Cherry Moraga and Gloria Anzaldúa. So this is a collection. This bridge called my back, subtitle, Writings by Radical Women of Color. Then 1990, so this is the last one, Gender Trouble by Judith Butler. Okay, so we'll go to the next question. 54. Who among the following is said to have believed that the Persian Gulf War 1990-91 never happened? So someone, especially post-structuralist, wrote this work. All right. So option A, Jacques Derrida. B, Jean Baudrillard. C, Jürgen Habermas, Habermas. Then D, Zygmunt Bauman, Bauman, Zygmunt Bauman. And the answer, just maybe there's a clue I can give. This critic believed in the hyper-real, in the sense there is no real, only illusion in this world. And he believed this war didn't happen. This war was just the illusion we got, or how we got that. It was portrayed as if it was, it happened, really happened. Okay, so answer B, Jean Baudrillard, famous post-structuralist. He believed in the hyper-real, and his famous work, Simulacra and Simulation. So in this world, in this postmodern society, what we get is only illusion, not reality, right? So only moving images and a kind of an illusion of reality. So that's what we consume from the internet, from social media and others. So his another famous work, Jean Baudrillard's, The Gulf War didn't take place. It didn't take place, but media projected that it had really happened. Okay. So next question, the last one of today's class. Which two works in the following list are written by Aphra Behn? So A, Rover. B, Orinoco. C, Soldier's Fortune. D, The Princess of Cleve. This is rather a straightforward question, because Aphra Behn, a restoration playwright and novelist, known for her famous work Orinoco, if you're aware of that. Then if you know at least that, you can eliminate only one option, by the way, B. Then we have, it is either A and B, Rover and Orinoco, or option C, B and C only, Orinoco and Soldier's Fortune, and option D, B. Orinoco, and the Princess of Cleve. So sometimes you can get a clue. Why repeated B, B, B? So you can easily eliminate option B, where there is no B, only A and C. Sometimes you can come up with this kind of a trick. So answer A, in the sense, the Rover and Orinoco. So these are the famous works by Aphra Behn. So Aphra Behn was born in 1640 and died in 1689. Restoration playwright and also prose work. And this is actually a kind of a fiction. Orinoco, subtitle, or The Royal Slave. And this is a play, The Rover or The Banished Cavaliers. Okay. So what we understand from this question, that we also we should focus more on restoration plays in general. So every time we get a question from restoration plays. So with Dryden and Pope, later coming Pope, so we should read about the other restoration plays, playwrights. So we got question from Nathaniel Lee, restoration tragedian. So we got this question, right? The Princess of Cleve, which was written by Nathaniel Lee, a famous restoration tragedian known for his tragedies. So he wrote a tragedy called Oedipus, a tragedy with Dryden. Then another work, The Massacre of Paris. Then Lucius Junius Brutus. But his most famous work, The Rival Queens. Okay. Next time, who knows, we may get a question from this. At least we can eliminate options. And the final one, we have Thomas Otway, another famous restoration tragedian. His famous work, Venice Preserved, or A Plot Discovered, a tragedy. And the question we got is this work, The Soldier's Fortune. So The Soldier's Fortune was by Thomas Otway, but this is more a comedy, not a tragedy. Okay. So with this, we finish today's class. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow with another five questions and detailed description of all the 5 questions. Thank you so much.